So when it comes to Nintendo Switch 2 game prices, it's been a pretty hot topic ever since the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct happened at the start of April. The big thing obviously being that the brand new Mario Kart game, Mario Kart World, cost $80 on the Nintendo Switch 2. And while a lot of people were hoping to see that maybe there was going to be some type of justification or some really crazy surprise that they were still hiding from us and that they were going to show it in the Mario Kart World Direct, that didn't really seem to be the case, and it really just seemed like this game is just going to be a brand new Mario Kart game like you know it, but it's now going to be an $80 game. And just this morning, from the time that I'm making this video, Xbox has also made the announcement that they're going to start having $80 games for some of their titles as well, but also having a price increase to their consoles now, as the Xbox Series X is going to cost $600. So it's just getting kind of really crazy out there. But really, when it comes to Nintendo Switch 2 game prices, it was really kind of when I started looking through them that I noticed that the kind of consistency that we've had throughout generations with Nintendo in the past really just seems to be gone now. And I feel like it's really kind of worth just kind of talking about it, because I really do feel like it's so interesting how we have such a big spectrum now of different prices when it comes to games on this system. Now, I think Best Buy really kind of showcases this the best way, because we can see here that there are 42 Nintendo Switch 2 games that are listed here on the site, and we can just kind of scroll down here and see the different ranges that they have for all the prices. So of course we've got Mario Kart World, which is going to be an $80 game, but then we've got Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is going to be a $70 game. And that's already kind of just two first-party titles that seem to have a difference, and that's really kind of making some people think as to what it's going to go for other franchises, because it really seems like Nintendo is making kind of like their huge games be $80. I'm sure the next Smash Bros game is going to be an $80 game. The next 3D Mario, 3D Zelda, all of those games are probably going to be $80, but what about now games that don't sell like an insane amount? What about those franchises? So like a game like a Fire Emblem game, what is the next brand new Fire Emblem game going to be priced at? Is that now going to be a $69.99 game? Because I feel like these games don't really sell a ton. They get like maybe 1 or 2 million sales, and because of that, there's already a lot of people that are kind of discouraged in trying out a Fire Emblem game and other types of games like that, because they don't know if they're going to be interested, or maybe they might not really like it, and they don't want to spend such a large amount of money. So if you're going to be making those games now cost $70, I wonder if that's really going to be discouraging some people, and maybe they might see kind of a decline now in how many people are, trying to get these games, aside from the fans who are just really interested and are always going to be getting the new releases. So it is going to be interesting. Like, I mean, that's going to be like a $70 game that we see here with Donkey Kong, but is like a new Fire Emblem game, a new Xenoblade game, are those just going to stay $59.99? Are they going to move to $70 as well? It's going to be pretty interesting to see. But even with the third-party games, I feel like that's where it gets really interesting, where we've got Cyberpunk here, which is going to be a $70 game, but Cyberpunk already comes with the DLC on it as well. So this is honestly a pretty good deal, because you're getting the entire base game with the DLC content, which I've heard is pretty good, on top of all of that, and you're getting it for just the standard price that games are now at $70. We've got some other games here as well. So we got Rune Factory here for $70, but then we've got this other one here for $50. And then moving back down here to some of the first party titles, we've of course got the Nintendo Switch 2 editions of a lot of first party titles for Nintendo. So we've got Breath of the Wild being $70, we've got the Kirby one being $80, but of course the Kirby one actually kind of comes with like this whole Star-Crossed world, which is essentially DLC, so I can kind of understand that one costing a little bit more money. But the fact that this one, like, I mean, you got the app and stuff, I guess, with Zelda, but yeah, it is going to be $70, and this doesn't even come with the Breath of the Wild DLC, so that's going to be like another $20 on top of that if you want like the Champions Ballad and all of that too. It's just kind of really crazy with everything that we have for that. But then now moving on here to some of the third-party stuff, we've got Street Fighter here, and Street Fighter 6 is just going to be a $60 game. So that is going to be a $60 game, but you're actually getting the base game and all of the DLC on top of it as well, which is honestly pretty nice for $60. I mean, they're not even charging like the typical $70 price, and so for $60, I think that this is like a really good priced game. You're actually getting the entire base game plus all the DLC for just the standard game price. That's really nice, and I think there's even like Nintendo Switch 2 modes or something that are in there with like the Joy-Cons, like exclusive content that's only going to be in the Switch 2 edition, so that is really nice as well. And then of course we've got Tears of the Kingdom costing $80, but I mean the game already was $70 on the Nintendo Switch 1, and then you've got like the $10 upgrade, so that makes sense. We've got Daemon X Machina, and that's $99, but this doesn't really count because it's like some special limited edition or something, so it's like a deluxe edition that actually includes more and stuff. And same thing here, like I'm not really counting like the special editions, but we can see here with some of the other games, like we've got Madden, which is just going to be a $70 game now on the Nintendo Switch 2. Here's like the normal version of Daemon X Machina. And then we've got Bravely Default, so that one's just going to be priced at $40, which I guess kind of makes sense because this is going to be a 3DS game, which is basically just getting remastered now onto the Nintendo Switch 2, and 3DS games did cost $40, so that's a pretty fair price game, I would say. But then we've got like Yakuza here, where Yakuza 0 is just going to be a $50 game. So that I feel like is a pretty good value as well. Sonic X Shadow Generations, I think the normal price for that was $50, so that's pretty much just staying the same. But yeah, I mean, moving on down here to the other page, we can see here Split Fiction is going to be a $50 game. And then we've got some other third-party titles that are going to be $50 games as well. Hitman is going to be a $60 game, so you can kind of just see here that prices for Nintendo Switch 2 games are pretty much all over the place. Like there is no consistency. Like Welcome Tour, I mean, that's obviously just kind of like a small kind of digital game, but you can see here with some of the other titles, we've got some $60 games. We've got Puyo Puyo Tetris, which is going to be a $40 game. And I mean, besides that, now here we've just got some digital versions of games here. But yeah, I mean, you can kind of just see here, like we've got basically pretty much like every single number now at this point. We've seen $40 games, we've seen $50 games, $60 games, $70 games, and $80 games. And this really got me thinking, because this entire generation now moving into the Nintendo Switch 2 is really not going to have any type of consistency at all when it comes to the pricing of these games, because obviously when we talk about games that aren't really like AAA, like those games are going to be cheaper, but these games that I just mentioned right now that we got to take a look at, like Yakuza 0 and Street Fighter and Cyberpunk and Mario Kart World, I would say that all of them are pretty much at the same level in terms of just being a AAA title, but the prices for all of these are now all over the place now, where some are 50, some are 60, some are 70, some are 80, and it's really going to be like an entire generation now where there isn't going to be any type of consistency, where I remember like with the Nintendo Switch, pretty much every AAA game, you would get that for $59.99. That was the same case on the Wii U. I think with the Wii, it was like $49.99 games, and so now really moving into this generation and just video games as a whole, it was really something that I kind of noticed, where you're really just not going to have any type of consistency, and you're really just going to have to see kind of these prices and really decide for yourself, like, is it really worth getting this game? Maybe I could get it on sale if it's a third-party game. It's going to be really interesting to see what Nintendo does with their first-party titles. So yeah, I mean, just this entire generation now with the Nintendo Switch 2, I feel like looking at how stuff is going to be priced is going to be a very kind of interesting topic that's really going to be brought up now more than it was before with some of the other games and kind of re-releases that we had with like Wii U ports on the Nintendo Switch, and I really feel like it's going to be kind of a very big topic. So I do wonder exactly how you guys feel about all of this as well. If you guys enjoyed the video, definitely be sure to click that like button and also subscribe to the channel as well. I'm definitely gonna have some more videos talking about the Nintendo Switch 2, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Comment down below and let me know what you think about all of this. How do you feel now about Nintendo Switch 2 prices really not having any type of consistency when it comes to these AAA titles, and how anything can kind of be from $40 all the way up to $80? How do you feel about everything? Definitely be sure to comment down below and let me know. Go follow me on Twitter at Aero so you can be featured in videos, and also join my Discord server as well. We've got a bunch of people in there who are always talking about Pokemon and Smash Bros and Nintendo, so definitely be sure to join that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.